Hello everyone, I am Siti Sumantri from Japanese Studies program of University of Indonesia. I would like to show you all my research about reflection on ideal beauty in Japan. Hana's short story by Akutagawa Ryunosuke is about a head with a small named Zenjinaigu who has a long nose. Meanwhile, in Hana's short film is about a high school girl named Hana who has small breasts. Both of the stories are about someone who is dissatisfied with one part of their body and struggles to overcome their dissatisfaction. On July 2015, Tokyo conducted a survey about your ideal female body and physical appearance. The result, as you can see, breast is on the second place. The percentage is just slightly different from the first place. Gender Gap Index in Japan. On 2018, Japan was on 110 from 149 countries, and on 2020, Japan was on 121 from 153 countries. This shows that gender inequality is still a major problem in Japan. The gender inequality has also been seen in the female body, where beauty standards are determined from male perspective. For previous studies, I took for research as shown on the screen. For research reference, I took 3 research and 1 book that discussed ideal beauty in Japan. Although the main focus of their research is different, but there is similarity in 4 of them, namely change in the ideal beauty in Japan influenced by the West, or westernization after the defeat of Japan in World War II. My research questions are: what are the differences that appear in Hana's short story by Akutagawa Ryunosuke and Hana's short film, and what is the criticism contained in Hana's short film from the feminism perspective? For theory, I used the theory of adaptation by Linda Hutcheon. I also used the beauty myth concept by Naomi Wolf. I used Hana's short story by Akutagawa Ryunosuke and Hana's short film directed by Okamoto Yusaku as my research data. For research methods, I use art text analysis, the theory of adaptation, and feminism perspective on females' bodies, and feminism perspective reading. The first difference is in Hana's short story, the protagonist is a Buddhist monk who has a problem with his long nose. This can be proven in the following sentence, which describes how Naigu's nose is. Whereas in Hana's short film, the protagonist is a high school girl who has a problem with her small breasts. Because she wasn't confident with her small breasts, she covered her breasts when she walked. Even Hana was called Pecapai by her close friends. Pecapai is a nickname for female with small breasts. In the Hana film, there is an opinion that male are seen from their head while female are seen from their breasts. This can be proven from the dialogue in the film that it's head for man and breast for woman, and a big breast is justice. According to Miller, the awareness of breast is a rebellion against cuteness and innocence, which is the standard of ideal beauty before the breast awareness. Nagi was actively looking for ways to shorten his nose, as can be seen from the following part of the story, where he tried to drink snake gourds too and smeared mouse urine on his nose, but no result until his student who had just returned from Kyoto was taught how to shorten the nose from his doctor acquaintance from China. The nose got shortened successfully, but he was being ridiculed and laughed at even more, so his anxiety returned. Even though Hana doesn't like her small breast, Hana herself doesn't make any effort to enlarge her breast, until Hana received a breast enlargement medicine from her close friends on her birthday. At first, Hana only kept the medicine in her pocket, until Hana was told by one of her close friends, Kyoko. Kyoko said that you're still cute even though you don't have breasts, which irritated Hana, and without thinking, she drank the medicine. Hana's action in trying to achieve the ideal beauty standard to meet the male expectation and to be accepted in society proves that Hana is tied by patriarchal norms. This is supported by Wolf's statement that the beauty myth will continue to exist as long as there is patriarchy, or in other words, precisely because of the patriarchy itself that makes the ideal beauty standard for female. Thus, it can be said that the patriarchy is also the one who controls the ideal beauty standard. As Hana tried to enlarge her breast, that means Hana is also a part of patriarchal society who being controlled to meet the ideal beauty standard. When Hana's breasts got bigger, she became more confident and no longer walks while covering her breast. Now their students look enviously at her, not only popular among female students, male students, and even teachers stare in amazement at Hana's breasts. Hana also got a boyfriend, the most popular boy in her basketball club. The fact how quick Hana got a boyfriend and was adored by men after her breasts got bigger proves that the ideal beauty standard related to breasts really does exist. Also proves that Hana's appearance before her breasts got bigger doesn't fit into the ideal beauty standard. Like Wolf said that men fight for beautiful women. If Wolf's words are combined with the facts in this film, the standard of beautiful here is big breasts. Hana, who was already overconfident, turned to mock Kyoko by saying, even though Kyoko's breasts are small, you're still cute. And Hana also mocked the shortest boy from her basketball club. Even though Hana's breasts got bigger and Naigu's nose got shorter, not only good things happened to them. On the other hand, they are being looked at by people around them. In the Hana film, several parts of stories from Hana's short story are included. One of them is as you can see on the screen. This part of the story was about Naigu, who feels that people hate him more because of his short nose. This part of the story is included to express the feelings of the protagonist, who feels that the people around them are hate them. One night, the depressed Hana met the shortest boy in her basketball club. Hana threw a few questions at the boy. Why are you trying so hard, even though you're short? Why are you okay, even though you're being looked at like that? But the guy said, I don't care what other people do, because me is me, not what anyone else said. From there, Hana realized that she was the opposite of the boy. Hana judged herself based on what other people said to her. When other people mock her because her breast is small, Hana also judged herself lowly. But when other people are amazed to see her when her breast got bigger, Hana also feels that she is valuable. Naigu felt that his short nose made him even more tormented than when he had a long nose. So when Naigu's nose became long again, it made his weariness and problems disappear. While in the short film Hana's breast getting more bigger without she can control. Both Naigu and Hana are tied by the standard. Naigu is tied to a normal human nose length standard, while Hana is tied by the ideal beauty standard that control her breast. Even though both of them are tied by the ideal body standards, in the end Naigu accepted his long nose and felt happy about it. Meanwhile, Hana's breast, which is getting bigger at the end of the story, can be interpreted as a symbol of Hana is still being controlled by ideal beauty standards and doesn't be able to control her own body. Later in her book, Miller also wrote about the concept of breast, either good or bad in Japan. The existence of the concept of good and bad breasts more makes it clear that the female body, especially the breasts that are being controlled, does exist. In a society where patriarchy is still deeply rooted, small breasts can be a problem, as was the case with Hana. Various problems regarding small breasts are not fiction, that it happened in Japan. One of the cases is average breast size problem in Saitama. In March 2012, Elself Cosmetics, a beauty and health product brand specifically for female, conducted a survey about the average breast size in 47 prefectures in Japan. It was found that the average breast size in Saitama is A cup. Then Elself Cosmetics also conducted a different survey about the ideal breast for male all over Japan in June of the same year. It was found that Saitama's men like the D cup size. The big gap between the ideal breast size, which is D cup, and the actual average breast size, which is A cup, made one of the TV program make a statement. It is not balanced between the demand and the existing stock. This statement proves that patriarchy is still deeply rooted in Japan, that female breasts are only a commodity to meet the male demand. 6 years have passed. Elself Cosmetics conducted the same survey in 2018. The surprising thing is that now the average breast size in Saitama has increased to D cup. This shows the strong influence of the Elself Cosmetics survey, which made females in Saitama try to enlarge their breasts to achieve the male's demand. As shown in the graphic, the D cup is the most preferred size. The problem resolution in the film is by enlarge Hana's breast to D cup above, exactly what male desired in the survey that has been mentioned. Only make it clear that Hana's breast is just a commodity of the male demand, which is ironic. In other words, the ending of the film shows the criticism that females have no power over their own bodies and tied to patriarchal beauty standard. Thus, the conclusions of my research are, there are two glaring differences, the protagonist and the problem the protagonist suffer. Criticizing the females have no power over their own bodies. For further research, this film can be compared with other Japanese films to get a deeper picture of the objectification of females' bodies in Japan.